Heavy fighting in eastern Ukraine kills at least 23 government soldiers and border guards and wounds 93, marking one of the deadliest days in weeks for Kiev, which had been making steady gains against pro-Russian separatists. With more on what's happening in the Ukraine, we're joined now by WSJ reporter Lukas Alpert from Moscow. Hi, Lukas. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you tell us exactly what happened Friday morning to start the violence?
Well, it started in the early morning hours. There apparently was an encampment of Ukrainian soldiers. They had a checkpoint along like kind of a hotly contested road. And in the middle of the night, the rebels came with a system called Grad. It's a rocket, like a portable rocket system. And they apparently just opened fire on this on this encampment and killed a whole bunch of people, wounded scores more. So yeah, it was a bit of a turning point back in the separatists' favor. They had been taking heavy losses for several days, or even weeks now. So it was a bit of a turnaround.
So Lukas, there was the ceasefire that expired about 10 days ago. How has the situation disintegrated since then?
I mean, it's basically just been full-on combat ever since. There's been no discussion of re-engaging this ceasefire. So what had happened is that the government had gone on the offensive and had actually made some considerable gains. They had knocked the separatists out of a couple of their key strongholds. But the separatists have now pulled back and they've regrouped. And it looks like they're now going on the offensive again. So if there was any sort of sense that that the government was about to end this, that probably what happened overnight suggests that maybe this is going on for a longer fight.
So this is not looking like a last stand of sorts for the rebel fighters.
No, it looks like they've taken a new approach here. Essentially, the government has been struggling really hard to try and control the border with Russia. They've accused Russia of funneling arms and fighters across this border. So what has happened is that they've appeared to kind of extended themselves along a very thin piece of land along the border. And it looks like the rebels are trying to kind of cut back behind them and to cut their positions off to force them to retreat. So the rebels are taking a bit more of a new tactical move here. But yeah, it does suggest that the fight is not quite at its end.
Has there been an official word from government officials there in Kiev or in Moscow, for that matter?
Well, the president of Ukraine came out afterwards and said that, for every fighter that we lose, the rebels will lose tens or hundreds. So, they're committed to the fight. And they said, this is not sapping their resolve in any way. Moscow's had no comment on it, and they often don't because their position is that this is not their fight. Mm-hmm. They deny the allegations that they've been funneling arms and fighters across the border, although there's been evidence presented by both Ukraine and the West that that's the case. So,
and how have other world leaders responded? Any word yet from EU?
Nothing yet. I mean, this is you have to remember that this has been an ongoing fight. I mean, today the number is a bit higher than it's been, but there have been heavy casualties before. This is sort of a flare-up in terms of losses by the government side. But, this is just kind of daily fighting now.
Become business as usual, sadly. All right. Well, thank you, Lukas, for that.
Oh.
We'll be following this developing story on WSJ.com, so be sure to keep checking in with us throughout the day.